When she stumbled for the third time in less than a minute, the laughter outside the bar stopped. And every head on the sidewalk turned toward the woman in a designer coat. Her heel caught the curb, she tried to steady herself, and still went down hard. Not a dramatic fall, worse. The kind where you can tell someone's not okay. And that's when the man standing a few feet away realized something that made his stomach drop. That woman was his boss. Before we jump in, if you love emotional stories that remind you how powerful kindness can be, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Your support helps us share more moments like this. His name was Caleb. 33 years old. Single dad. The kind of guy who never stayed late unless he had to, because daycare fees didn't care about overtime. He lived in St. Louis, worked maintenance at a mid-sized corporate building downtown, and spent most nights helping his 6-year-old son, Miles, practice reading at the kitchen table. Caleb didn't hate his job. But his boss, Marissa Grant, made it hard to breathe sometimes. Marissa ran the building like a stopwatch. No small talk. No mercy. If a light bulb was out at 9:01, she wanted it fixed by 9:02. So when Caleb saw her there, outside a bar, alone, swaying like the world wouldn't hold still, his first thought wasn't revenge. It was confusion. His second thought was, she's in trouble. A couple guys near the entrance snickered. One of them stepped closer, too close, talking like he had a right to her attention. "Come on," he said. "You're fine. Don't be like that." Marissa lifted her head, eyes unfocused, and tried to speak. But the words came out messy, embarrassed. Caleb froze for half a second. Because it would have been easy to walk away. Easy to say, "Not my problem." But then Marissa's phone slipped from her hand and skidded across the concrete. And Caleb saw something that hit him harder than any insult she'd ever thrown at him. Her hand was shaking. Not party-drunk shaking. Panic shaking. Caleb walked over, picked up her phone, and stood between her and the guy. "Hey," Caleb said, calm but solid. "She's going home." The guy laughed. "Who are you, her boyfriend?" Caleb didn't raise his voice. Didn't puff his chest. He just stared long enough for the joke to die. "I'm the person standing here," he said. "And you're the person walking away." The guy's smile faded. Maybe it was Caleb's tone. Maybe it was the fact that a few people were watching now. Either way, the guy backed off with a mutter and disappeared into the noise. Marissa blinked at Caleb like she couldn't make sense of what she was seeing. "Caleb," she slurred, trying to stand. "Why are you?" "Slow," he said gently, steadying her elbow. "You hit your head?" Marissa shook her head too quickly and winced. Caleb's chest tightened. He didn't know her personal life. Didn't know if she had family nearby. Didn't know if anyone was waiting for her. But he knew one thing. He couldn't leave her on that sidewalk. So he called a rideshare. Then canceled it when he realized she couldn't even unlock her phone without fumbling. "Do you live close?" he asked. Marissa nodded once, then swallowed hard. 2 blocks. Caleb sighed. "Okay. We're walking." They moved slowly under the streetlights, Marissa leaning on his arm like she hated needing help. Halfway there, she spoke, quiet, like the city might overhear. "I didn't plan this," she said. Caleb didn't answer right away. He'd learned that sometimes people weren't asking for advice. They were asking for permission to be human. Marissa's voice cracked. "My divorce finalized today." Caleb's steps slowed. She laughed once, sharp and broken. "I signed papers in the morning, and ran meetings in the afternoon like nothing happened." Caleb looked at her, surprised. Marissa was the last person he expected to admit pain. And then, she whispered, "I didn't want to go home." Caleb nodded gently, like he understood more than he said. Because he did. There were nights, after his wife passed, when he sat in his car for 10 minutes outside his apartment. Not because he didn't love his son. But because he didn't know how to walk inside and be strong again. When they reached her building, Marissa fumbled for keys. Caleb waited. No lecture. No teasing. No I told you so. She finally got the door open and turned toward him, eyes glossy. I'm sorry, she said. Caleb frowned. For what? For how I treat people, she whispered, like the words tasted bitter. Caleb stared at her. Not because he wanted an apology, but because he wasn't sure he believed she could say it. Marissa swallowed. You didn't have to help me. Caleb's voice stayed steady. Yeah, he said. I did. Marissa blinked. Caleb added, softer. Because if my son ever sees someone on the ground, I want him to know what to do. The next morning, Caleb came into work expecting awkwardness. He expected Marissa to avoid him, to act like it never happened. But at 9 a.m. sharp, his phone buzzed. A calendar invite. Office, 9:10. Please come. Caleb walked in, heart thumping. Marissa stood by the window, looking like her usual composed self. But something was different. She turned and didn't pretend. I remember everything, she said. Caleb's stomach dropped. He braced for blame. For embarrassment. But Marissa's voice stayed calm. I don't want to be that person anymore, she said. The person who acts like strength means never needing anyone. She slid an envelope across the desk. Inside was a raise, and a note that said, for showing me what leadership actually looks like. Caleb stared at it, stunned. Marissa cleared her throat. And Caleb? Yeah? She hesitated, just a second. Thank you for treating me like a person, when I didn't deserve it. Caleb nodded slowly. Then he left the office. And for the first time in a long time, he felt something rare. Not victory. Not revenge. Just peace. Because kindness isn't about what people deserve. Sometimes it's about who you refuse to become. That night, Caleb helped Miles with reading again. And when Miles stumbled on a word, Caleb didn't get impatient. He remembered the sidewalk. He remembered the shaking hands. And he remembered the lesson life keeps teaching the hard way. The smallest act of kindness, done in the hardest moment, can change someone's entire next day.